Welcome to the French Newfie. I'm Erin MacDonald. Today I'm going to make something for you that's a little indulgent, but it's one of my treats that I really like to have sometimes on the weekend. And I don't know about you, but I really like to eat things different on the weekends than I do during the week. During the week, I'm working out, I'm eating healthy. The weekend just tends to be a little bit more indulgent because you've worked hard all week. So my recipe for you is going to be steak en poivre, which is a pepper steak, but I'm doing a different version of it. Instead of an expensive cut of meat for the traditional recipe, I'm using ground beef, and it's actually lean ground beef, so you can feel a little bit better about that. Before I move on to the recipe, I'm going to start chopping some ingredients. I really don't want to get my hands into the meat till I get some of this all taken care of. I have some nice brown mushrooms, and I want to get them chopped first. What I want to do is actually hold them straight up like this, and I want to keep the stalk. I've patted them dry, I've taken off all their dirt, and I'm trying to keep the stalk. This one came off, but it's fine. Just do your best. The reason I like that is for appearance. It looks really pretty, doesn't it? I like to keep the stalk on. Depends on the mushroom, of course. And now we're going to go with this one. And I'm only doing a couple because this is my dinner, so I'm not making a big batch. I'm just showing you one simple recipe for when you're feeling a little naughty on the weekend. Perfect. And just get that over to the side for now. And onions. I just want, again, I'm only using a half of an onion because it's just for me. It's already chopped, so I can't really do much in the way of a French chop, but this is going to serve the purpose. There you go. Turn it on its side. Excellent. Let's see now. Perfect. I want to get my pan on so that it's hot and it's searing. You know, you really want to have a good sear, I think, on my burger. Just a nice crust. If you're going to be indulgent, go all in or go home, as they say. Okay, get a little bit of oil, olive oil, and I'm gonna put a little bit of butter as well. Butter's gonna help also for it to crisp up. Now, I'm gonna get my onions in and my lean ground beef. And it's only for me. I'm not gonna use the full pack. Get my hands in, but it's going to be a good size. Again, you want to treat yourself, and I've got to show you just how special this is. There we go. So it's very simple, the ingredients. Onions, ground beef, Worcestershire sauce, salt, black pepper, and an egg, just like that. Now I'm going to try and keep a little bit clean, but I know that's not going to happen. Let me try and get in there so I don't get too covered in all of this mess. Let me just swirl around. You can see my pan is going really hot. Lovely. The mushrooms I'm going to actually fry up with this burger so that they're done at the same time. And I'm going to move on to a sauce. It's a green pepper sauce, and it is one of my favorites. I just love green peppercorns, and whenever I find them, which I can't find very often, I buy jars on top of jars. That's how much I love them. So now it's time to get messy and put that ground beef, lots of onions, just a couple ingredients as you saw, and form it into a little patty or a big patty. Get that right down into the butter and into the oil. And as I mentioned, I'm going in with the mushrooms. Get that all around, just like that. And this is going to go for around 6 minutes, 7 minutes. And I'm going to put it off to the side so that way you can see how I make this simple sauce. So let me just turn on my burner here, get it off to the side. We won't forget about you, don't worry. And move on to the sauce. So it's still going. And again, we need just a little bit of oil. There we go. And a little bit of butter. There we go. Okay, and now that that's going, just a little bit of oil and a little bit of butter, I'm going to add some green peppercorns. And these are the star. I love these. They're really strong, but they're really, really good. And they're packed in brine. I'm going to use a little bit more than I would suggest. So I would suggest maybe 5 or 6 green peppercorns. Or 10, as you can see. I'm using about 30, but I'm chopping them up just a little bit so that way you don't have to bite too much into the whole green peppercorn. And the green peppercorn is basically just an unripened peppercorn. Well, it's ripe, but it's not dried. It turns black when it dries out. So there you go, get that down. A little bit of onion, that's fine. This is so indulgent. We're gonna let it go just a little bit. And some more ingredients. Let me take a look at my burger. Oh yeah, you can see there's some color coming on the mushrooms now, which is perfect. So just turn that over, give it a flip. Oh yeah. And it's soft, and it's barely staying together, just loosely, but that's fine. That's exactly how I want it. It's gonna be so delicious and indulgent. And now I'm moving on to some Dijon mustard. Like a teaspoon of Dijon mustard is going to go in there. And we want some whipping cream. So it's really good and indulgent as well. This is not for your waistline type of meal, but it is for comfort food, which we all enjoy sometimes. And quite frankly, we all deserve it. A little bit of comfort. Now we want to mix it all up. So you have, the smell is coming off. This is beautiful, very, very peppery. And I want to add some brandy. And brandy just makes everything better in cooking for sure. So go ahead, some nice gloves of brandy. A good, generous glove. Mix that all around. Beautiful. So nice. A little tiny bit more cream. Really, really lovely. This is so indulgent. I tell you, if you make this for someone, they will love you forever. And you can smell that the brandy is actually burning off of it now. And that's what you want. I'm going to push this back. And what I have is just a little bit of brown bread that I've slightly toasted. You can still hear it's a little bit crunchy. I'm going to go over and go in for my beautiful burger that's ready to go down on top. And I didn't put any butter or any type of sauce on the bottom because the sauce is right here, so you really don't need it. At this time, look at the color of the mushrooms. They're beautiful and brown and caramelized. Put that all down on my plate. Make sure everything's turned off. And lastly, I'm going to go in with that beautiful decadent sauce. It's so nice with the peppercorns. And it's got the cream and the Dijon mustard. And that brandy has burnt off. But really the peppercorns for me are the star of the show. So there you have my steak en poivre. A little bit different than your traditional recipe, but it is the French Newfie twist. And I think I'm going to give it an extra little squeeze, just a kiss to lighten it up, of some lemon juice. There you go. I hope that you give it a try and I hope that you enjoy it as much as I will.